Welcome back to Equal IT's Shining the Spotlight series, where we shine the spotlight on incredible initiatives that are working to drive positive change in STEM. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Vanessa Eriksson, who is the founder of Girls in Tech Nordics. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Vanessa for many, many years. She is an incredible individual with so much passion, and I'm excited for you to feel that within this interview. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thanks, Ellie. I love it that you invite us and also that Girls in Tech is recognized, as adding value. So what an honor to be representing Girls in Tech and be here today. Thank you.
I always just feel so inspired from when we first spoke, Vanessa. I think it was like 3-4 years ago to now. The evolution of Girls in Tech Nordics is incredible, and we'll dive into that in this interview. But firstly, can you give an introduction into yourself?
Vanessa Eriksson, and I'd like to introduce myself as a mom to 3 brilliant daughters. And yes, I'm a leader, passionate about data, everything data. Newly with the whole AI space, the innovation, and how to actually work ethically with AI, putting a lot of emphasis on the quantity of data. So I've worked with some fantastic startups and also large organizations like Telia, the company that you and I both know, Ellie, and we love them. And most recently from Sensact, which is probably one of the most intense data-driven companies, where they were building software for self-driving cars. And I worked with them for 3 years as Chief Digital Officer, responsible for data, cybersecurity, and IT. But that is me, and that is work. And then I have my passion, and that is Girls in Tech, what we're here to talk about today.
Can you share more on the mission at Girls in Tech Nordics?
So I started 6 years ago, wanting to make a difference, wanting to give back to society. I have always felt at every stage of my life that I have so much. Can I give back? And 6 years ago, I was working at Telia, working with the innovation department. And I would come home and talk to my 3 girls, who were quite small at that time, talk about the innovation that was happening at Telia. And I discovered that I had 3 very eager girls waiting to listen to, so what happened next, Mom? Where are you going? What are you doing? So that's what I thought. What if I take my story outside my little dining table, to more girls? Could that actually inspire them to think outside I want to say think outside the box, but basically think that, maths is not difficult. If you look at the fun part of technology and innovation, it doesn't have to be difficult when you actually start to have fun with something. So that's what I did. We started at Telia with 15 girls. We talked about Telia Sense. At that time, IoT was at its peak. So we had a lot of innovation in our workshop, and that's where it started. And the mission you asked, the mission is really to just inspire and encourage girls to take a look at technology, not more than that. But I mean, as we now created a non-profit organization, making it more legal, complete with a board. And now that we've been at it for 6 years, we thought, so what's next? Because each of our events has at least 250 girls, sometimes 500, where we've had 2 events. So we're thinking, what's next? Because now we've been inspiring. And so we've come up with a new mission. And our mission is we want to make Nordics the leader in diversity and inclusion. And that's something that you feel very strongly about as well. So while we are talking about diversity, we also accept inclusion, because you need to have everybody involved. So we want to make Nordics the leader. That's the new mission.
It's such a powerful mission and something that resonates deeply with us at Equal IT. And can you tell me a little bit more about that first event? So how did it go from idea to then creating something tangible? What did it look like?
I knew I wanted to talk about inspiration. I wanted to inspire the girls in innovation and technology. And coming from, my dining table with my three daughters, I actually did what any mother would do. Go out and get your friends. Go out and talk to your school. So the girls were very happy. I printed out leaflets with, this is what we're going to do. We're going to inspire girls in technology, talking about Telia Sense, their car, their connected car. So the girls were out there talking to their friends and also to the principal of their school. While I looked into my network, and all the friends that I had got this leaflet from me, the information. And also I said, bring your daughters and bring their friends. So that's what the event was like. We had just 15 girls, with most of my friends and the girls' friends in the audience. But it was the start. And I had fantastic colleagues. I still have fantastic colleagues. But we got Karin Reban, I think her name was, to talk about Telia Sense. And then I had Ellen Sund. She was at KDH, and it was actually the same time, this time of the year, because it was All Souls Day, and she had invented a digital candle for the graveyard. Which I was touched as well, because our loved ones. I'm an Indian by birth. My family is buried somewhere in India. To light a candle, because you can't be there in the graveyard on All Souls Day. So she had this fantastic idea of, logging in, putting some money, whatever you want, and candles would light up in the graveyard for you. So I got her to also come there and talk about innovation. And I think that's where the idea grew. The next year, I joined PwC. I left Telia after 8 years and joined PwC. And then I had Ulrika Andersson, one of the partners, feel also very passionately about this. She joined me, and it just took off from there. So, we've been having events ever since. What does a typical event look like? We actually go out to the schools today. We ask either the maths teachers, the maths and science teachers, or directly with the school principal. We talk about our mission first, how we want to encourage and inspire girls, and then have them send the girls over to us, to our events.
And have you noticed any reoccurring barriers for young girls when it comes into entering tech? What tech looks like, I guess, changes from when they first come into an event to when they leave.
The challenge for us still is getting girls to come on their own. Not everybody wants to. So we have a fantastic network of companies and schools now, but companies that are eager to be part of this whole journey with us. So it feels really challenging that we're not able to still attract the girls, because they have the notion of, wow, I'm just going to sit behind a computer, or I'm going to be looking like a nerd if I go into technology. So we had Bright Robbins help us with our entire advertising and our website. And they showed us this picture of Bella Hadid last year, where she was spray painted on the catwalk with this, and it turned out to be a beautiful white dress. So when they come in, I've noticed this is a big game changer, because when they come in, some of them, I tell you, I'm probably getting old, because, I had one of them come in with headphones on, and she was really late to the whole event. And I told her, you need to take those off. And she's like, there's no music in them. I'm like, oh, okay. But, you get some with really challenging attitudes that I'm just here because somebody has forced me to be here. And getting them to change the way and to start looking at it, that's where I feel like, you hit jackpot. Because, so what I did was per picture of Bella Hadid being sprayed with her dress on the catwalk. And I said, no, How many of you have seen this picture? How many of you have seen this video clip of Bella Hadid and all the hands, girls, all the hands go up? And I said, yeah, that is not fashion, by the way. That is technology. So I said, so how many of you want to be working with this kind of fashion technology? And then all the hands go up, including this girl who was in the audience. And I thought, yes, because, you need to show them that it's not about sitting behind a laptop. It is actually, today especially, it doesn't matter what you do, because, you have things to make sustainable foods. That's tech. You've got materials, you're looking at sustainable clothing. There's so many innovations happening. So I think that girls need to think outside and say, "Poof, it's not about sitting behind a laptop or behind my computer. It's actually, what do I want to do? And then how do I make that possible for me?"
That's really, really powerful. Yeah, pairing interests, themes that are current in society to learning, to make it more enjoyable, to connect the dots, I guess you could say. I really love that, Vanessa. And how else do you think we can break down that stereotype and encourage more girls to at least just have an open mind to tech?
What we are trying to focus on now as a next step is also talking to the politicians in Sweden. Because if you've had the age-old problem of maths is difficult, where you have, I've been talking to CEOs and leaders who say their girl children say, no, I don't want to do this. And of course, you want the child to go thrive, do what you want, be what you want to be. But if you find that that is holding your daughter or your kid behind, then I think we have a bigger problem. And if we've heard this for so long that girls find maths challenging, I think there's something in it that we need to open the box and see, okay, so what is it? And then is it that the teachers need more help? Because you also hear budgets are cut, so the teachers cannot educate themselves in the new innovation things that are happening to be able to teach better, either with new methods or technologies for themselves. But I think that something needs to be done, and that's where we are also trying to, from Girls in Tech perspective, see which of the politicians would actually work with us, talk to us, see how we can actually change this. Because otherwise, for us in the long run, if we're all looking for more women in tech, that sustainability is not going to happen if we don't target the schools and get girls to actually study and, educate themselves in tech.
There are a lot of puzzle pieces that we need to continue to connect together on this ongoing mission, and it has to be sustainable, of course. But a problem we also face is, of course, when these girls turn into women and come into the industry, it's retaining these women. I read a study and it was women are 45% more likely to leave tech than men. And I truly believe that we need to continue encouraging leaders to build this environment of psychological safety. It's so important. Of course, you can't tell someone that they're psychologically safe. They need to feel it.
For the psychological safety that you talk about, some organizations can, and I've heard this from some of the employees, well, we don't have a problem, so why are we talking about this? It's also, I don't know, it's not the ignorance, but it's just the bliss, everything works in my little corner. So, is there really a problem? I didn't notice. I think so. The more we talk about it, we evangelize. I think we're adding value to the entire momentum.
The thing with psychological safety, the thing with anything within the realms of DE&I really believe we should take that mindset that it's never enough. We're never quite there yet. So we're always having this awareness and putting in those behaviors that are really key, again, to building that environment where everybody can feel like they belong, because that's the important thing. We all have individual needs. We're individuals, but this is things that we should continually work on and understand, ask questions, be curious to everybody within this industry to continue making it better. So you have events that you're running. What accomplishments are you really proud of so far?
Now that we've got ourselves established in the Nordics, I think it's fantastic that there's so many people who are so engaged, and that's the power of networking. Simply awesome. So this year we've had events in Norway. We've had two in Sweden, one in Stockholm and then in Gothenburg. And for the first time ever, we had an event, a Guns and Tech event in Finland. Well, we are so proud of ourselves and the leaders who are in these countries, running the initiatives for girls in tech, also wanting to make a difference. I just spoke to our lead in Norway who said, it's a bit tight, Vanessa, but we're still looking for having another event here in Norway. And I said, no stress. I appreciate and I love that you guys are so engaged. Each one of us is doing the best we can. And I think sometimes you just need to take the moment and say, thank you. We could not have done this without the support of everybody. So it's wonderful. We've got mentors. We've teamed up with mentor.se, mentor.se. That is an organization that actually belongs to Queen Sylvia in Sweden. So we're very happy. And we also, because, when you have mentors join, you want to know that the children are still safe. So yes, and we're not getting anybody on this platform. So mentor.se is helping everybody and anybody who wants to be a mentor to also go through a bit of evaluation and then understanding. So what does it mean to actually be a mentor? So one is the mentor part, looking at how can we help the girls, those that want. But I think another big one that I'm super proud of is that we're going to start measuring success. Because up until now, we've been just running to get the information out, spread the word around. And I think now that we've been out there for 6 years, we have 3 schools that have agreed to do a POC with us. And what does that mean? They're going to give us a count to see, so how many actually have chosen science when they leave school. And you do not have this information anywhere else, because I think in KTH and in the universities, you can get a number to say how many girls actually joined, but not on this level where they leave school to go to college. So I'm super happy that the schools have agreed to participate in this KPI for us. So fingers crossed. I mean, and it's no win or lose. It's just understand, do I have a pocket that I still need to be working more on? Or what can I do? What can we do less of, and where can we focus our efforts? So it's a kind of indication for us.
There's so many great things that you're driving and different initiatives. And I actually read somewhere recently that you now have a partnership with Nordic Women in Tech Awards. Tell me more about that.
I love what the Nordic Women in Tech Awards is doing, because recognizing, the value that women are putting into the whole tech sector is super. There's a lot. I mean, and I think just to be nominated is awesome. You don't have to win. It's just you're recognized for who you are and what you're bringing to the table. So being very inspired with them, because I was one of the judges like you, I thought, so what if we partner with you guys? Because we're always looking for a speaker at our Girls in Tech events who inspire. And I thought, if we actually get your winners to come, because we have our events in the Nordics as well. So depending on the country, if your speaker could go to one of our events and talk to the girls and inspire them.
What a wonderful collaboration. The whole team at the Nordic Women in Tech Awards are incredible. And I'm very confident that joining together these 2 inspirational initiatives, the magic is going to happen, and role models are going to be continued to be amplified, because again, you can't be what you can't see. And it's so true. If somebody wants to join Girls in Tech Nordics or create a Girls in Tech in their own city, what should they do?
We have a website that has been built by Bright Robbins, girlsintechnordics.org. And if somebody wants to join us, I first would say, welcome, we were waiting for you. And then I think, checking first if we already have an initiative in the country, in the city. The city leads are all updated on the website with email addresses. So contact them. If we don't have anything already, shoot us an email. It's nordics@girlsintechnordics.org. We will get back to you and help you on how to get it set up. Keeping in mind GDPR, but also that we are working with minors. We like to be a little more cautious about allowing people into our environment for no other reason.
I will put all the links in the description box below. Super, super excited for what's to come, Vanessa. And what change do you want to see in the industry?
One is what you said, psychological safety, because I don't want to say women. I want to say people are people. And sometimes you want to be in a safe environment. Having worked with the engineering community now, I think that is somehow a bit of a harder environment if you're not an engineer yourself. So how do you then get acceptance, respect? And it doesn't matter whether you are a woman or anybody else. How could I then feel like I belong and be respected for the value that I bring to the table? The other is, I don't want to hear that we have a quota to fill for women. I absolutely despise that. I think that I want to know that I govern on my own merit and not because I'm a woman or because I fill certain criteria for getting into that, from my merits. You hear all the organizations, large companies and small, talking about being there, working, wanting to work with diversity and inclusion. Help us. I recently had a company ask what they could do. They wanted to be at the event and showcase their innovation, but then when it came to doing more than that, as in, making the calls, getting the girls there, opening up places for internship, then it was probably, I need to think about this. So you can't just choose and pick what you want. Either you want to be there, putting yourself out, making a difference, or, I'm sorry, not everybody fits that box either. It's not very harsh, but again, we have been at this for a while, so we know what we're talking about.
That's where people are going wrong. We can see through that now more than ever. Thanks so much for sharing your own reflections, Vanessa. It has been an absolute joy to shine the spotlight on the wonderful things that you're doing at Girls in Tech Nordics.
On behalf of Girls in Tech Nordics, we say thank you and really appreciate this time sharing both our achievements, our struggles, and also what I want to say out there to all your listeners, come help us make a difference, because we can't do this alone.